those time zones of about -5 GMT, all of those people that live there, I think there's a few.
Oh! Explosion.
Did you just explode my landing gear?
I thought that was what landing gear was for.
Never
Anyhow,
mind,
plan.
then.
What are we doing?
I need 7 more horses, and you're stealing mine. I tried to retrieve it, but my landing exploded.
This is my horse,
The-
of course.
Next thing would be, I guess, to try and gauge what viewers want. I think that's why we're recording this instead of just doing it. Apart from the fact that one of the only reason we do anything is recording. So if we record it, then we know that we're actually going to do this meeting.
Yeah.
But yeah, to try and gauge what viewers want, the kind of series that they want as a group. The problem is that there's a lot of ideas that I have personally wanted to do, kind of melding the stuff that I used to do with having a group like this, but they've all been such time sinks. Like, I have over 100 hours of footage for one series that is sitting on my hard drive that I just haven't been able to turn into something. And I know, based on what I've...
my favorite footage. It's my favorite series that never happened. I love it. This series is great. It's pretty phenomenal. It was a bit groundbreaking in YouTube, and if you want to watch it, then unlucky.
Yeah, if you want to watch it, you're going to have to hire an editor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not me being lazy, because the amount of time that would have to go into doing it. And I knew that when I got into it, but I mostly just wanted to record it and kind of prove to myself that ideas like that would work. And I know this is very cryptic. I kind of don't want to give the idea away.
Because it's still going to happen.
Yeah, one day. But what I did get basically acted as a pilot. I managed to put together a rough draft for me to watch, but no one else.
Oh, that's not fair. Oh, where are you?
And it was great. It all worked out really well. It's just it's a TV show, though. That's the problem. And TV shows have dozens of people, if not many more, in order to pull things like that off. So I would like to come up with an idea that scales back from that massively, but without losing the idea that we can make shows as a group without having to all be there at the one time, and without one person having to put in all of the effort to make it happen, because I think then it will never happen. But I don't know if anyone agrees with me on that. I mostly just want to make things like that. So I guilt other people into joining me, because yeah, those 100 hours of footage that I recorded included Anubis, Apple, Minty, and Melon, and a few hours, like maybe 2 hours in total, of Bulls at the end. And I didn't really tell any of them that it was probably never going to turn into anything. I made them do a lot of work for my own benefit.
Anyway, I think we're going off on a tangent a little bit here. So rather than reminiscing about past things that viewers are never going to see or may never see, or may see one day, but we don't know when. How about we? So what are we actually thinking about doing, or what do we want to know about viewers? Because
that's right.
For viewers' opinions on what they want of something they don't know about.
Yeah, that's why I went off on that tangent, because I thought the things that I want to do, I can't ask for their opinions on. So I gave them an example of something that they can't give an opinion on.
Nice.
So what's your opinion on that thing?
Pretty good.
So we did have brief discussions about things like maybe doing more stuff in pairs and threesomes, and that doesn't matter how I think about this, it's sounding more and more like an orgy each time. But where we don't all necessarily
on the Pornhub channel.
But where we'd make sure we all got to play together as a group, but it wouldn't necessarily be all of us at once. A bit like, I suppose, me and Mia and Almond and Spidey are doing Terra Firma Craft, and the rest of you, you know, you can join.
Well, you're not, you losers.
Mind, you know,
is what she's trying to say.
Not that we're very...
Spelled with two
play,
L, mind you.
we play while you're doing that. Apple, Minty, and I play Battlegrounds, and we sometimes get a little bit drunk. Crash your streams and have a great amount of fun to ourselves, but it doesn't really translate into the stream chat very well when you watch it back the next day. It's hilarious at the time.
A little bit of PUBG trivia here. It's the concurrent players presently is 866,000, beating Dota 2 again. Yeah, it's well done.
Ooh, yeah, I read about it.
Now, if you can guess what time we're recording this and day, then you win. Based on that information.
You win nothing, but all right.
I'll give you a copy of Space Engineers. It works.
I'm online.
Tangent.
I'm online in Space Engineers right now. The only time I play Space Engineers is when I'm recording, and everyone can see that I'm playing Space Engineers, so I think someone's going to guess that based off that, not the numbers.
Don't give them those extra hints.
Oh my god, that was like real logical problem solving there.
I only say that because I usually get questions after I've started up Space Engineers saying, "Are you recording Space Engineers?" I usually say yes. It's the only reason I play Space Engineers. I go, "Oh, okay."
It's actually the recording studio.
That's probably a nice segue to Space Engineers and this server. Over to you, Boris.
Right. Okay, so the reason the server exists, I kind of stole the idea from some other people. I won't name them so that, you know.
I think you should.
You protect them.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
It kind of changed.
Let's call them Frilly Fran and
Frilly
Pickle
Fran
Peter.
We don't really need names because I'm never going to talk about them again.
You will.
So I'm sorry, Frilly Fran and Pickle Peter.
Pickle Peter, please.
Pickle Peter.
And Stuart.
He pickles and just Stuart.
Stuart.
He's the loser friend because he doesn't have a cool name.
Philly Fran, Pickle Peter, and Stuart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, so you stole this idea from them.
Well, it's multiple groups. It's not just the one. But what I liked, so these groups have done it in Minecraft. I thought I could kind of move that to Space Engineers, which is having a server up that's 24/7 and having enough people on there that it kind of sustains a little bit of an organic community in the server. And all of the people on that server recorded their own series, so or almost all. And those series would be solo series, so it's kind of getting a whole bunch of YouTubers together that record solo series and putting them on the one server. That was the original idea for this, because then you get crossovers. So you see something in the background, you wonder why that was built, so you go to the other person's video, and then you get collabs, so every now and then a couple of people would work together, and then you get group videos or the entire server all playing at the one time.
Full orgy mode.
That kind of worked a bit. We had a few people that did record. So like there was Anubis, me, Spider-Man had his series, Possessed Pickle.
Even me at some point.
Yeah, this is before you.
Yeah.
We'll get to you later.
We've got full history going on here, Minty.
I'm in big trouble.
I think Boris, you need to just speed it up a little bit because like, getting drunker. So season 1, there was a bunch of us. Some recorded, some didn't. It kind of worked. Then it all got very laggy because everything got big. There was so many players. Blah blah blah. Season 2, same sort of thing, limited number of players, and we did that kind of thing.
Season 2 narrowed down a lot more. Yeah, we started to get people like you, Sal, and Minty, and Mia was actually on the Season 1 server. That's something I always forget.
Don't remind me. I'd rather not.
Yeah, so we did have a whole bunch of people.
Season 3. What was Season 3?
That was one where we went partners in grind and everything, I think.
Yeah, the massive donut that Anubis built is huge thing that took so long.
That was Season 2.
Or was that 2?
That was Season 2. That's Season 2.
Season 2?
Yeah.
Season 3 was on the planet.
Oh, planet.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I tried to block that out.
Yeah.
Season 2 was the disco platform, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mongolia. Was Season 3.
No, it was Season 3.
Mongolia. Yeah.
Mongolia was Season 3, yes.
That's right. They were quite distinct. They were quite distinct series, I must admit.
They were, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was every series was supposed to have kind of a different flavor. It's supposed to be a little bit different, but they were all stopped by the game.
Yeah.
Mostly, but also I think we kind of just slowly petered out with ideas and the need to do it. In fact, the game kind of ending was probably good for people like Anubis. Otherwise, he would be insane. Trying to do
implying that he isn't already.
Basically, when Boris gets bored with building the thing that he's started and he doesn't know what to do next, it's usually around about the time that the game gets too laggy for anybody else to continue. So Boris says
it's not a coincidence. It's usually because of what I've built.
It's true enough.
Uh-huh.
But that's what I wanted. I wanted a series that could go on for a long time, and like in Minecraft, you can kind of go back through the timeline just by walking down your street that you've built. So you can see everything over many weeks and months, and everything kind of has a story to it. But it does become difficult to keep that going. And we also did run into problems of different styles, I guess. We still haven't really worked this out, because one of the things that I like about us is that we do have different and distinct styles and presentations in the way that we do things. So I think that there's something for everyone in it.
Until Anubis started copying Sal.
Yeah, and that again was a result. That was a result of time. Again.
Yeah, so Anubis usually, his style is to have heavily edited, very polished content, mine is to put out any old shit, whereas Minty's is to pretend he's going to do something and then not.
But then 6 months later come out with an opus.
Well, 6 months later, once every 18 months.
It was a Ben-Hur every decade.
Yeah.
Am I being too harsh?
You're so harsh, Sal.
You like it, really.
Okay.
Apple's videos just feature Hitler mostly.
One video.
One video.
So we've got about half an hour before Anubis needs to go to work. Are you working today, Anubis?
Yeah, sadly. So yeah, I've got half an hour.
We've got to fill half an hour?
No, we can stop whenever.
Oh, shit.
I'm just conscious that...
I was about to start PUBG.
No,
I don't know about you guys.
I think what Sal is saying is that the 5-minute opening that you were going to do, Boris, is taking an hour.
Oh no, I think we're kind of
compress it.
I think we're done.
Yeah, we're partway through. Continue.
Oh, right, the different styles thing became a bit of a problem when it would take Anubis most of 1 week to record one video, but then also have a multiplayer video with the group.
Yeah, which was also highly edited.
And then Sal would constantly be just falling ever so far behind, and I was kind of somewhere in the middle, and I found it difficult to do solo recordings because all of my spare time was spent doing multiplayer stuff or editing, and the solo stuff is the stuff that kind of meant the most to me. That's what I considered my channel. That was the main series, and then everything else was, off of that.
Yeah, same here. That was kind of how I was approaching it originally as well.
But that just died away, and then we've ended up like what the whitelist is at the moment isn't what it was supposed to be to start with. We're doing kind of a different version of what we use. We call it the Merry Friends or Motley Crue style because of one series that some of us were involved in. And that's just where you turn up in the server and then click the record button, and you only play when everyone record for one session a week, mostly.
Which was to help to prolong the life of the server.
Yes.
Yeah, so we didn't have... So I think it's partly the game and partly us, and that we can't quite get this server to work in the way that I originally envisaged it. But that doesn't mean that this is a bad idea in and of itself. Like just playing Space Engineers, obviously, enough people like it.
Yep. Seems to be.
Yeah. But I don't really care how many people like something. It's whether I like it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then it'll come across on the video too, right?
Yeah. Like, I would rather put a lot of effort into something, make it as good as it possibly could be, and then not have very many people watch it.
I should release videos of me doing poos because it's so good.
So that means that this series where I feel like I can't, the top of that is floating away. I don't think you meant that. That's
What?
not gonna. Is that on your end too? Do you see it floating away, or is that just me?
Are you talking to me?
It's floating away.
Oh no, it's Minty. It's Minty. Sorry. Yeah, the top of the carosel's floating away.
I don't know. Oh, is that the carousel?
I don't know what
That's right. We'll just do it. While
Are you
it's moving.
kidding me?
Well, I didn't do anything. I was just looking at it. I just,
What do you mean? You were just looking at
I
it.
was just going to land on it. I was just going to land on it.
with a
Was it
horse
not
with one thruster.
It wasn't attached. It wasn't attached. I just bumped it and
Rotors.
it fell off
Because rotors.
because space.
Fine, I'll have to just build a horse with 6 seats or something then.
One
Well,
horse.
this is a good
What are
example
you
of what.
doing? How did you get this?
I'm amazed. Did you see that? I ate my way through
How
that.
did you do that?
Yeah, I can fly through this thing. You just push at it and then you go through.
That's cool.
Space Engineers. Yeah, this is a good example of we will spend hours and hours getting something ready to record for an episode, all this prep work, and then something like this will happen.
Yep.
And then you just don't want to record the video. So
It's still here for me. I can't fly through it.
That's why we can fly through it,
I
because
wonder
it's
if I
not
can
real.
fly through it over here, though.
Do I still bump
yeah.
into it?
Yeah, I bump into
I
it
still,
here. Yeah.
I bump into it, so it's still there. We just have to relog to see it.
Yeah, so don't worry, Mir. It
Yeah.
was just Minty
Minty only
tormenting you with
pretend broke
magic.
it.
Yeah.
It was magic.
Do you believe
Let's
in
relog.
magic?
I'm relogging.
Just another story to go off on a tangent. Anubis, do you remember that time your entire door exploded in Space Engineers?
My entire thing
Mongolia.
door.
Your hanging door that you worked forever on the
Oh,
planet.
yes, I remember that. Yep, that was down at Mongolia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent like a week, I think, building that door, getting it all working, testing out all the mechanics. Yeah, and then we tried to use it, and the entire thing exploded. And I got it all on video, so it was good from that perspective.
I'll tell you what, in that season there was a lot of frustration, and it was mostly due. A lot of it is due to the introduction of planets.
Yeah.
And our intrepid nature to explore said object.
Well, we wanted to build a lot and dig a lot, and
we were on the moon.
and planets didn't like either of those things.
That's right. And Boris and I were doing some cargo routes, and we lost a lot of stuff crashing ships.
Oh, now you got parachutes though. Now you could drop it with a parachute, Boris.
Oh my!
Well, it was, yeah, that would have saved the ships, hopefully. But we were doing those cargo routes, and ships would be flying along them, then just drop out of the sky. That was a bug at the time. So we'd just lose the entire ship.
Yeah.
It would just
That's
be
right,
all over the ground. And we go back, let's make an entire new ship.
But we pushed it so that we were always flying too close to the ground because we were aware this was a bug, and it might happen if we both flew higher. We would have probably avoided death. I know for me, certainly, if I'd flown higher.
And if we didn't, say, for example, dig an entire underneath a mountain when digging holes caused lag and problems.
Yeah. Well, we decided that we wanted to build, and this was my silly idea. I wanted to build a city inside of a cave inside of the mountain. That was what originally the plan was for Mongolia. It never really happened, though.
Well, it's when developers give you a game that has such potential. But can't support that potential. How
are you gonna get the other
it's
side?
Annoying. It's annoying. Because you have these grand ideas.
Hold on.
That never come to fruition. But then again, it's always
we
fun.
need those ideas, to make a series like this kind of work.
Yeah.
We need to be able to build unconstrained. And I'm very hampered by the fact that I can't build a massive structure over many, many months.